Do you think you are bold enough to move high in career? Let me say something that might sting a little. Most people watching this right now will stay shy their entire lives. They will sit in the back of the room, swallow their words, shrink in conversations, and quietly disappear into the background of their own story. They will wait for the perfect moment to speak up, and that moment will never come. They will watch others get the promotions, the recognition, the relationships, and the opportunities, and they will tell themselves it just was not meant for them. That is the uncomfortable truth most people refuse to face. Shyness is not cute. It is not humble. It is costing people everything, silently, every single day. Now here is what I also know. A rare few of you watching this are done with that story. You are ready to break free, step forward, and finally take up the space you deserve. This video is for you. Think about the last time you had a brilliant idea in a meeting but stayed quiet. Someone else said it minutes later and got all the credit. Think about the promotion you deserved but never advocated for yourself, so it went to someone louder, someone bolder. Think about the friendships never started, the connections never made, the conversations that died before they ever began, because fear kept your voice locked inside your chest. This is what shyness actually costs you. Not just awkward moments, but real opportunities, real relationships, real versions of your life that are slipping away silently every single day. And here is the brutal truth about the world we live in. It does not wait for the quiet ones to feel ready. It rewards those who speak up, step forward, and take up space unapologetically. Every day you choose silence. Someone less qualified, less passionate, and less capable than you is choosing boldness instead. And they are winning. Here is something that will change everything for you. Shyness is not your personality. It is not something you were born with, and it is not permanently wired into who you are. Shyness is a learned behavior. It is a habit your brain developed over time to keep you safe from one of its most dreaded experiences, which is the pain of being judged or rejected by others. Think about that for a moment. At some point in your life, probably early on, you spoke up and something went wrong. Maybe people laughed. Maybe you were ignored. Maybe someone made you feel small, and your brain, doing exactly what brains do, created a protective pattern. Stay quiet, stay small, stay safe. But here is the truth. What was once protection has now become a prison. And the moment you understand that shyness is a habit and not an identity, you have already taken the single most powerful step toward eliminating it forever. Let me tell you about Marcus, a mid-level manager I coached 2 years ago. He was brilliant, genuinely one of the sharpest people in any room, but nobody knew it. He would sit in leadership meetings, heart pounding, ideas burning inside him, and say absolutely nothing. Afterward, he would watch someone else voice his exact thought and receive all the credit and recognition. When Marcus first came to me, he whispered during our initial session, literally whispered. He apologized for existing in the conversation. We worked together for 6 months, not on tricks or performance tactics, but on rewiring how he saw himself and what he believed he deserved. 12 months later, Marcus delivered a company-wide presentation to over 200 people. He did not just survive it, he owned it. The room was completely captivated. Marcus was not born shy. He was taught to shrink. And everything he unlearned, you can unlearn too. Here is the first strategy that will genuinely change everything. Rewriting your internal narrative. Shy people run a constant mental script before any social or professional situation. It sounds like this. What if I say something stupid? What if they laugh? What if I embarrass myself completely? That loop plays on repeat, and your nervous system believes every word of it. Here is what you need to do. The moment you catch that worst-case script starting, you interrupt it. Physically pause. Take one slow breath, then you deliberately replace it. Instead of, "What if I fail?" you say to yourself, "I have something valuable to contribute here." Instead of, "Nobody wants to hear me," you say, "My voice deserves to be in this room." This is not toxic positivity. This is neurological reprogramming. Your brain responds to the stories you feed it consistently. Practice this replacement script before every meeting, every conversation, every opportunity. Do it daily until boldness becomes your default setting. Now here is the second strategy, and this one is a game changer. It is called micro-boldness, and it works by deliberately choosing small discomforts every single day, not giant leaps. Not overnight transformations, small, intentional acts of courage that most people avoid without even realizing it. Speak first in the next meeting instead of waiting for someone else to break the silence. Hold eye contact for 3 full seconds instead of looking away. Share that opinion you always swallow right before it reaches your lips. These moments feel tiny, almost insignificant. But here is what neuroscience confirms. Every time you push through a small discomfort, your brain registers a win. It begins rewriting the story that says staying silent is safe. Over days, weeks, and months, these micro moments compound into something extraordinary. Your nervous system literally rewires itself around boldness. Confidence is not built in one dramatic moment. It is built in 1,000 quiet decisions to show up anyway. Now, let's talk about something most people completely overlook. Your body. Boldness is not just a mindset. It is deeply, powerfully physical. The way you carry yourself sends signals not only to the people around you, but directly back to your own brain. When you slouch, shrink, and speak in rushed, quiet tones, your nervous system interprets that as fear. But when you stand tall, roll your shoulders back, and plant your feet firmly on the ground, something shifts internally. Your brain begins to register confidence. Slow your speech down deliberately. Pausing before you respond signals authority, not weakness. Take up space unapologetically. At the table, in the room, in the conversation. Stop making yourself small to make others comfortable. Research consistently shows that expansive posture reduces cortisol and increases testosterone, literally changing your chemistry. Your body is not just reflecting your confidence, it is creating it. Start using it intentionally, starting right now. Now let's talk about the real engine driving all of this, the fear of judgment. This is what keeps shy people frozen, silent, and small. But here is the truth that will genuinely set you free. Most people are not thinking about you nearly as much as you believe they are. They are consumed by their own insecurities, their own worries, their own internal noise. This is what psychologists call the spotlight effect, the tendency to believe we are being observed, evaluated, and criticized far more intensely than we actually are. You walk into a room and feel like every eye is dissecting you. But in reality, everyone else is wondering if people are noticing them. When you truly internalize this, something extraordinary happens. The invisible weight lifts. You stop performing for an imaginary audience. You stop editing yourself before you even speak. Releasing the spotlight effect is not just relieving, it is completely transformational. Now, here is the fourth strategy, and it might be the one most people completely overlook. Building a boldness environment. Think about this honestly. Who are you spending most of your time with? Because the people around you are either feeding your shyness or slowly starving it to death. If everyone in your circle stays quiet, plays small, and avoids conflict, that becomes your normal. You unconsciously match the energy of your environment. But when you intentionally surround yourself with bold, expressive, and confident people, something remarkable happens. Speaking up starts feeling normal. Standing out stops feeling dangerous. Seek out communities, groups, masterminds, or even online spaces where people celebrate boldness rather than punish it. Find rooms where sharing your voice is expected, not exceptional. You do not need permission to upgrade your environment. You just need the awareness that your current one might be the very thing keeping you invisible. Here is something your leadership coach needs you to hear directly. The world is not suffering from a shortage of quiet people. There are already enough individuals waiting for permission, shrinking in corners and hoping someone else will speak first. What the world is desperately short of are bold voices, decisive communicators, and people courageous enough to lead from the front without waiting for an invitation. And here is where most people get this wrong. They confuse boldness with arrogance. They think speaking up means talking over others or demanding attention selfishly. That could not be further from the truth. Boldness is not arrogance. Boldness is responsibility. When you silence yourself, you are not being humble. You are withholding your perspective, your ideas, and your leadership from people who genuinely need it. Every time you shrink, someone loses the benefit of your voice. Your potential is not just yours to protect. It is yours to unleash. The world needs you loud, present, and leading. At the start of this video, I told you that most people will stay shy, invisible, and overlooked their entire lives. But here is the truth. You kept watching. And that means you are not most people. You are one of the rare few who refuses to stay hidden, and that decision alone already sets you apart. Now it is time to act. Do not let this moment fade into another day of silence. Pick one strategy from today. Just one. Rewrite your internal narrative. Practice one small act of micro-boldness. Stand taller. Walk into a room that challenges you. Or simply find your boldness tribe. Save, like, and subscribe this video. Share with friends. Subscribe the Lead North CXO. YouTube channel. Goodbye till we meet again. Apply it today. Not tomorrow. Today. Because the world does not need another version of you that plays small. It needs the real, unfiltered, fully expressed version of exactly who you are. Stop hiding. Start leading. The world has been waiting long enough.